And welcome, everyone. Welcome to another episode of our Pure Love and Harmony podcast. Today from PLH School and Texas AllBreed Grooming School. And we have an amazing guest today. So we can learn a little bit about journey of one of the longest standing schools in the country, Texas AllBreed Grooming School. And I have a great pleasure to share this podcast today with Denise Reed, the director and the owner of the Texas AllBreed Grooming School. So Denise, welcome. It's so glad to have you today on the podcast.
Thank you for having me, Sasha. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. The pleasure is all ours. So the reason I wanted you on a podcast is to learn firsthand about the school history, about how did you got involved with the school, how did you acquire the school, and can you take us briefly through the whatever you know about beginning of the Texas AllBreed Grooming School before you took it over?
Before I did, Joan DeRone was the director here, and I came to school here way back when, and graduated, and I know Joan's sister, Gail, was actually the instructor starting out here. And then Steve Arnold had become the instructor for many years. And so the school evolved. Joan had a lot of health issues. And I guess I came in about 2008 and started working here. Joan was desperate, and so I tried to help her out to bring her up to date and keep the school open and everything. And with her health issues, I finally just bought the school from her in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
2009, and did a lot of changes here when I took it over. But
let's just go one step backward. Why did you enroll the grooming school? Like, what prompted you to a grooming world at all? Why, and then why Texas AllBreed Grooming School?
well, it was the only school around.
Okay, that's fair enough.
It really was the only school around. I did it. I was a stay-at-home wife. The children were grown and everything, and I just kind of got bored.
Oh,
I
really?
mean, I did. I got bored. You could only do so much shopping and so much cleaning, and so I
Fair
wanted
enough.
to do something, and I had the privilege of coming to school, and then after I graduated, I opened up my own shop.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there for like a year and a half, and my husband got sick. And anyway, I tried to keep it open, but I didn't have anybody responsible enough to run the shop. So Dennis just said, shut it down and we'll be fine. So I did, and I stayed home and took care of him. After he passed is when I actually went out and got a job as a groomer.
Oh, really?
I did.
Where did you work?
It was at Darling Dogs with Carol. Carol. I just had her name.
Carol? Okay.
Carol.
Carol.
But so I came out here to buy equipment, to keep a small business going. And Joan and I had a good rapport. So I came out here actually just to buy equipment, and Joan begged me to come to work for her.
Mm.
So I thought about it for a few days, and I went ahead and gave my notice and came here.
To work as an instructor?
I worked as an instructor. I also took care of I took care of everything. I mean, yeah, the school was not compliant with the state fully, and so I brought everything up to date and got everything going, and then I ended up buying it.
Took it over on the end.
Huh?
So took it over on the end, bought it on the end, right?
Yeah.
And then the Joan stopped being involved with the school when you came, or she?
Yes, she did. Well, not when I first came.
Mm-hmm.
I worked with her, with Joan, for probably a year and a half before she really got bad. And, well, I say that. Yeah, probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years. And she would come out here. She wouldn't get here till like 2. And then she'd come back to the grooming room and try to work with the students, mess the dogs up. Kind of like I probably would now. But,
Done.
but, oh, it would aggravate me. But, so, after she got real bad, she couldn't come.
And then she retired? She went to the nursing
after I
home?
bought the school. Well, she was already in she went to assisted living. Probably a year and a half after.
You came?
Yeah, because I took care of her.
While she was in assisted living?
Well, no, while she was at home.
Oh, really?
I'd go over there and take care of her. So, and Joan didn't pass away until 2011, I think.
Okay.
I think is
2
when
years after you took the school.
Yeah.
So she could rest in peace knowing that the school is in a good hands.
Yes.
And then you said you bought some changes in the system or in the school itself. Like what were those changes that you implemented?
Well, some of it was equipment. She just had the stand grooming tables, and I started bringing in hydraulics. Just different equipment and cleaning the school up. It desperately needed cleaning. And just making the customers happy. You know, when I started, she really didn't have any customers left because of the way it was being run. So I built that back up. And
You built back existing clientele, or you were
a lot
opening the new
more.
one?
Well, I had
towards the new one.
some of the old ones that did come back, and then a lot of them were new. So, and they stayed with me for years.
And then, fast forward, how was your experience with the school, learning, teaching people, and then having instructors? And how was that while you was running the school?
I loved it. I still taught a little bit back here. I brought Steve back, Steve Arno back.
That was your teacher? Was
Yeah,
he
and
your
he
teacher?
was my teacher.
Oh, okay.
And he stayed with me for 10 years. So he did a fabulous job, basically up until the end. And I think he was kind of burned out and just getting rough with the dogs. So he and I fought every night.
Over the dogs?
Over the dogs.
Okay, that makes sense.
So instructors, they're hard to find. You know, working with people that really don't care about the dogs. They care about the money, to be honest with
really?
you. Yeah, they did. Now, I had some good instructors. Susan was an excellent instructor. I lost her during the COVID.
Oh, she moved away somewhere, or?
No, she opened up her own business.
Okay, that makes sense.
So
Actually, the COVID would be the first big hit to the business
it was.
of yours.
Yes.
And how the years after COVID looked?
Well, it was okay, except I had to find another instructor or two, and Tamara was an excellent instructor. I'm not even going to say the other one's name.
Yeah,
but
they all have a piece in the history of the school anyhow.
But we did pretty good. I mean, we came back from it. You know, everybody was anxious for us to open back up. And,
For how long you stayed closed?
we were only closed for a few weeks.
A week? Okay.
Yeah, a few weeks.
So the Texas, or actually Arlington, was not as strict as on the policies of the close the business, do
No.
not open back, or things like. Okay, that makes sense. And then you reopened.
I reopened and took care of business as usual. And
All until
until
you ended up in a hospital.
until I went to the hospital.
So
And
what was your why did you ended up in a hospital? First because of the COVID, right?
Well, yeah, I did end up in the hospital with the COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I was there for, I don't know, a week or two
Mm-hmm.
with in the COVID ward. Horrible place.
Well,
But yeah, COVID was the first hit, and then I went into the hospital in October of 23.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's where everything went downhill. Um, I had to have multiple back surgeries, and I was in the hospital for quite a while. And that was basically the end of it right there.
Really.
Yeah.
And then there was a gap in the school operations, right? After you
Yes.
decided that actually maybe it's better to close than to, or actually to pause until you do not find a
Yeah.
way to reopen.
Well, after 23, I tried to open. I got another instructor, Rebecca,
Mm-hmm.
that was uh, wanting to work and teach. And I think she would have been okay. I think she would have done okay. But so much had happened while I was in the hospital that damaged me. Should I go into it?
Yeah, just kind of like let all go, because
Well,
I think like what I wanted to showcase here is that keeping up the school that have so big legacy is a great burden on top of a joy that brings with it.
yeah.
And the reason, then fast forward, Rebecca was somehow a link to us meeting.
Yes.
And Rebecca was taking our Grooming to Gold class. That was a class that I ran at the time. When she came, and then we had one lesson in which I invited them to bring case studies for the struggles of their businesses, or if they want to share a difficult clients or something like that. And then she brings how she's excited about the opportunity that she has chances to work with you and the Texas AllBreed Grooming School, but there is so much things that need to be put in place that she doesn't know where to start.
Right.
And as you say, running a state-approved school is not easy, because you, aside from running day-to-day operations, you need to be compliant with a lot of bureaucracy and
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
things that need to be in place in order for
You
school to
work
be
a lot of
operate.
hours.
Yes, on top of working with
Yes,
the students and the
yes.
dogs and the clients. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of hours to put in.
And then we were introduced to Denise and through Rebecca, and that was actually, we had a couple of meetings, but what I never actually asked you is actually what prompted you to kind of like welcome us with such an open arms and give it a chance to move from that old way of how the school operated for so long, and with the changes you embedded when you came. How did you sense that there is a way and there is a time for the new upgrade, not only the curriculum, but the way how the people would be taught in a school?
I guess because the holistic way that you teach. I've always been against animal abuse, and groomers have a tendency to be aggressive with the dogs. If the dog's not cooperating, then they get aggressive. And I tried to teach my students that, don't be bonking the dog on the head with the comb or a brush.
Oh, that was a general practice?
Well, with some of them, till I see it, and then that was the last time. But I just knew that y'all would have the great opportunity that these groomers needed to learn how to work with the dogs and not just tolerate them and abuse them. So,
And then first thing we did when we came to the school was to take off the safety loops from every single table. And
Yes.
how did you survive that?
well, I was scared at first. It was like, oh my gosh. But it's done well. I mean, the dogs, you handle the dogs so precisely that they're secured and you're calm.
Yeah, and that's what we teach students. It's kind of like, it's also, it's also an amazing to see that actually you can implement a new way of doing in the old environment.
Yes.
But what needs to be changed is a culture, entire culture within the system. And what was actually blessing in the sky was that the school was just a great platform to do that, because you teach people from the scratch, and whatever you taught them at that point is going to be something that they're going to, grow into and try to apply it from the day one. And so for me, it was no brainer to take off the safety loops, because I remember you after we redid everything and we put everything in place. I remember you stopping by one day and where are the safety loops? I said, well, we don't work with the safety loops.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, but it worked well, yeah?
It does work well. And the dogs are calm, and they're not as aggressive as they normally are.
Yes, because
not all the dogs are aggressive, but, when they're not secure, then the tension builds up in them.
yes.
And then they start moving around and snapping or whatever, but it doesn't make it easy to groom.
So now you are not involved as much as day-to-day operations.
Unfortunately not. I'd like to be, but with my health the way it is.
The history repeats itself in a sense,
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But how do you feel like content that this is again, because what we are doing here at the moment is opening a new paradigm.
Yes.
And Texas AllBreed Grooming School is again on the forefront of changing the world of the professional pet care.
Right.
Because this would be the third time that this platform would be a runway for that to happen. It was the first time with Joan, when she opened it. That was around the 80s.
Uh-huh.
It was a beginning of the professional grooming,
Right.
pet grooming, industry, a booming, right? And so she did that, and then you came along, and then you transformed the school to fit better the current age at the
Yeah.
time, 2010. So that was another wave in which the school was leading a new wave of the pet care
Yeah.
professionals. And this is a third time that the school is taking a road of
It is.
changing the landscape of the professional dog world for good, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did also redesign the space completely.
You did,
Turned
yes.
it upside down. Actually, we turned. So this was the. Can you just, because Vedran gonna place a little bit of the video about as a cover art to this story. So this here was your styling room, right?
Grooming room, yes.
And
Yes.
you would have a tent table, right, or something like that.
I had 10
Yeah, I
or
was thinking
12.
12 actually,
12,
yes,
yeah.
12 tables,
12.
yes. So we cut that
So-
in half. And then the front room was a kennel room with the
This
drying
room
stations.
here
Yes.
was the kennel room.
Okay, sorry.
The kennel room.
And the
then-
drying station, right?
Yeah, well, we had 2 drying stations, one in here and then one in the bathing room.
Okay, so
Yeah.
there you bathe the dogs. So now in front where the kennel room was, we have 3 styling suites in which the students and the groomers after graduation stay and work with the dogs. And here, what was a styling room before with the 12 grooming stations, we have a classroom where we teach actually our theory and the model dogs. And then we have a place for 6 people. So that's in which we really curate the
Well, this
enrollment.
was the classroom too.
Oh, this was a classroom too.
Yeah,
You used
this
this as a
was
classroom.
the classroom and grooming room.
And the grooming room.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, what do you hope for the school to bring in the years that come?
I hope it continues to succeed and get the word out there all over about the
Holistic
new
way.
concept of what needs to be done.
Were you skeptical in the beginning, or you were just
Yeah.
you were?
Kinda, yes.
What you were skeptical about?
Well, just the whole concept.
Oh.
It was like,
Too much, maybe?
or I didn't understand it completely.
Oh, maybe I didn't know how to explain it. That of the time what happens, like, what are you guys doing? But as you grew in, and we try to, you try to witness, like you went more calm and kind of like content that actually you put the
Yes.
school on the right path with these choices.
Yes, I
That's
did
nice.
put it on the right path. You gave it the right path.
Yeah, but it couldn't happen without you. So you was someone that needed to recognize this, and because as you see, like you pointed it out. Maybe I didn't even understand what all of that change is needed to be done, but then as you kind of like surrendered to the change and to everything that we bought there, the school is slowly stepping and literally paving a path towards the more holistic and integrated way of species appropriate care, because that's where you put the well-being of the people, of the groomers, when they provide a rightful and meaningful care for the dog, with appreciating the dog as a species with their own needs and a viewpoint to a world and their own consciousness. And once you work around that with an animal, then the experience of the groomer itself becomes much less stressed, because you are not fighting the dog, you're working with the dog. But that requires a change of complete mindset on one end. That's very kind of easy to do with the students that just enter the
Just
industry.
starting. Yeah.
But also when you are working with someone that's so long in industry like you were, still requires a lot of trust and kind of like, oh my God, maybe I don't understand this, but I feel it's the right way to go.
Right.
And then a lot of courage to let it go
Yeah.
in that direction, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, so this was actually very nice path that we went through, Joan and Gail as a first instructor and owner to the school, and then you taking us through the little journey about how school operated when you took it over, all until we didn't came across and started a new chapter to a
Yes.
longest lasting school for the professional dog groomers in the States. And long live the love for dogs through the school.
Yes, absolutely.
So Denise, thank you so much for your beautiful time that you took and shared it with us. And I hope you all enjoyed learning a little bit more about the history and impactful way Denise had to the world of the professional groomers.
Thank you, Sasha.
Thank you. So until we meet next time, wherever and whenever, I wish you